What's up, guys? Editing the review right now. Just wanted to hop in and say that I'm sorry that my audio is blown out in some of these clips. This is my microphone. It plugs into my phone, and I just do that, and I can't hear myself while I'm recording, so I just need a new mic. If y'all know any good mic, wireless or wired like phone mic recommendations, comment, because I'm tired of my audio being so blown out because I talk so loud, right? So, anyways, enjoy the review. Hey guys, welcome back to another review. Today we have the Marvel Studios Spider-Man No Way Home Mafex 241, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, aka Tobey Maguire from Spider-Man No Way Home. This figure is it's caused quite a little controversy for the people. Those first in-hand pictures came out and everyone hated it. Now the figures come out and people love it. How do I feel about it? Well, that's what you're here to find out, right? So, yeah, let's take a look at the box right here. You see a nice big window of the figure inside and some of the accessories. And then come to the side right here, we got Tobey right here in the back, pictures right here on the front, and then here, more pictures on the side, bottom, stuff like that. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the box. You know, y'all want to get to the figure. So we'll go ahead and get everything cracked open and take a look at this figure. And here we have Tobey out and on the display table. And I have to say, this guy is pretty good. It's not a perfect figure. There are some flaws that I personally have with the figure that I'm not a big fan of, but I do think there is a good argument and conversation to be had here about whether this is the best 1/12 Tobey Maguire Spider-Man out there, specifically with the imports being the competitor of the SH Figuarts figure. So yeah, this guy comes with a lot of accessories. Let's go ahead and jump through all those and we'll take a closer look at Tobey. Now, for the sake of my sanity, I'm not going to go through every single one of these pairs of hands because as you can see, there's a lot here, but just to list them off, he's got some pointing fingers, web grabbing hands, relaxed loose grip hands, some wider, tighter gripped hands as well that come on the figure, fisted hands, flipping hands, wall crawling hands. He's got these really two cool pointy gesture hands, which are really cool. And then, of course, being a Mafex figure, he has the Mafex magnetic wall crawling hands and magnetic feet if you wanted to do that. And I will say, like, these hands are tiny, but the sculpt on here with the web lines and the detail on the red suit is very prominent on here. These hands look really good, and that sculpt is just a preview of what to look at for the rest of the figure and what's to come. And then he does have a Doctor Strange sparkle circle portal, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's just a piece of plastic, but it's painted nice. There's a nice shimmer to it. So yeah, the only other accessory like this we've gotten is from Marvel Legends for the Doctor Strange figure, and then I think the SH Figuarts black and gold suit, if you ordered the exclusive, had like a plastic film thing with it. So it's nice to have this if you want it in your display, and again, it's pretty cool. You can't have enough portals out there, you know. He also does come with the loose mask here, and here's the hand with the smaller grip, which I've personally had some trouble getting him to hold. So it's like, you find that smooth spot, it's great, and you know what, of course it's not going to fall right now while the camera's rolling, but I was trying to just get a random pose of him standing holding this earlier, and it was quite challenging. He kept knocking it down, but these are always fun accessories to have with the Mafex figures. And it is cool that he has the Sandman cure right here. This is just a fun, like, scene-specific accessory, which I think is really cool, because we haven't gotten this yet from SH Figuarts or Marvel Legends or anything like that. So I think the only version that had something like this is the Hot Toy. So it's good to get one of these in 1/12 scale. Now here is that first unmasked head sculpt with the neck revealing mask piece right there. And this is just the general Tobey head. And God, this looks really, really good. This is, I think, the best Tobey head sculpt we've gotten in 1/12 scale. The blue eyes are just there, the little stubble around his cheek. I got a little dot right there on the forehead, but I think the sculpt works out, and I think it does look like Tobey in No Way Home. And then they did include a smiling head sculpt like the SH Figuarts one. The SH Figuarts one, though, had his teeth showing like he was an actual smile, whereas this is just kind of like a grin. But again, it's a nice accessory to get a friendly neighborhood-looking face for the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So it looks a little creepy. It kind of looks like a ventriloquist doll in my head. Like, I'm thinking like R.L. Stine, like Slappy the Dummy type stuff, but again, it's cool and it's a fun accessory to have. And of course, popping the head and neck off on here is not a hard thing to do at all, so that just, again, like, it looks really good right there. So yeah, that's about it for accessories, I think, minus the Mafex stand. And then he does come with the general Mafex webs, which these suck. They kind of need to get some new stuff. I don't know what they could do, but like, make some new webs, please, Medicom. Like, these are okay. They're fine, but let's get some new ones now. And now taking a look at Tobey right here. Again, like, I have waited so long for a Mafex Tobey as well as everyone else. Like, even before No Way Home came out, everyone was like, when are we going to get a Mafex Tobey? Now we have one. Here's this one. And right away from the promo images, let me just start getting into kind of my, like, nitpicks for this figure. Again, I didn't love the proportions at first. I thought the ball jointed shoulders looked a little too weird. I think, like, the way that this upper diaphragm tapers really small and it's wide, and, like, I think that there is something that happens here with this crotch piece that we'll get into later that I think is most important to note. But all this is adjustable, and when the first in-hand images of this figure came out after release, I was not a fan at all, like a lot of people. But after getting it in hand, playing with it now for 2 months now, I'd say, or a month and a half now, ever since this figure came out, it's great. And I mean, just taking a closer look at, like, the sculpt on here, like, it is the Raimi Tobey Spider-Man. Now, everyone's going to complain about the mask. Yes, this is No Way Home Tobey, but custom heads are out there. Bottle Store is going to save us. But focusing away on just this being a No Way Home Tobey, there is the argument to be made that this could be like a Raimi trilogy Tobey, like with the adjustable shoulders and the proportions. People are like, oh, you just get a custom head sculpt and it'll be perfect. And then it's the perfect Raimi Tobey, which there's a custom thing out there that I want to talk about later. I won't be doing it in this video, but we'll talk about some custom mods that people are doing to make this the definitive Raimi Spider-Man. But again, for No Way Home Tobey, we're going to get back in here and focus in here on these web lines. And yeah, this is just dope. The promo images show that the promo images showed that the eyes were white in the promos, and now they're a dark silver. I probably would have preferred them to be white. Again, there's so many different images of Tobey's suit throughout the movies. I mean, in No Way Home, I think they were white. In the Raimi trilogy, I think they were silver. But regardless, it's slim picking preferences on your designs of, like, what Tobey's suit should look like. All suits from all movies look different for that Raimi trilogy, whether it's the spider logo, the lenses, or whatever, even the colors. But regardless, I just want to highlight, like, looking at this pattern right here on the thigh, like, look, all of that texture, like, looks so cool. So I think they did nail the sculpt about it. At first, it was kind of a little clunky, like with the gunmetal lines, and I'll bring this point up later when I compare it to the SH Figuarts one. But again, it's just, this looks like Raimi Tobey, and I'm happy to have it. One thing I am happy to have, if we're gonna get, like, bring up the SH Figuarts, is this does have the split blue and red elbow. The SH Figuarts and some other Tobey figures don't have that. Thank God they did that, because that's just an aesthetic that I like. But yeah, I mean, it's here. Like, the quality of the figure as well feels pretty great. Like, I think this feels like a Mafex figure. But again, I wanted to get to, like, the crotch piece, and this will lead into the articulation. But it's the soft rubbery piece right here that allows the legs for some more articulation. That's new on here. I know this figure has it. Mafex 2099 has it. I'm not sure if that'll be the, like, standard moving forward, but it does allow for the legs to, like, crunch up super hard, and we'll kind of get into this later again when we get to articulation. But I think it being this rubber crotch piece too, and being so flexible, I think there's a lot of prone gapping with the proportions in the abdomen. And I noticed that in the promo images, like, there's just angles where he's being posed, and I just see, like, these ugly cuts here, and that's why at first, like, I was kind of personally turned off from the figure when it was first revealed. And I was like, man, like, I really want, like, this figure to be perfect. I mean, everyone wants the figure to be perfect, but yeah, I mean, it just, like, these proportional issues do bother me, but when I'm posing around, it's not that big a deal. But it is something to know if you really care about aesthetics for your action figures. I care about posability and functionality, and with that, we'll get into the articulation, because this guy poses really, really well. So, of course, starting with articulation with the head, he can look all the way up using that dumbbell at the bottom of the head and the bottom of the neck, and he can look down that far too, and he's got some great pivot right there, so that's really awesome. Now, these butterfly joints are awesome as hell too, so they go back and forth. You can just get this arm and cross that all the way over. Like, that's just awesome, like, so effortlessly. Like, I think that's the big thing to highlight about this figure. Like, it's just smooth, and these shoulders go up this far, they rotate all the way around. There is a bicep swivel, good double jointed elbows right here, and then a swivel hinge swivel for the wrist. Now, the diaphragm, using the upper and lower diaphragm joints, can go about that part. Again, like, you just see that gap in, and I don't really like that at all. And then you get that pivot right there, and then in terms of going forward, goes about right there, and then going back a lot right there as well. So now with the hips and this rubber crotch piece, so there is some good drop down hips. They feel really good. And you get the leg and bring it all the way up. Like, that is just awesome. Again, I'm not showing anything that people don't already know, and this is your first review of the Mafex Tobey Figuarts. Thank you for watching my review. But again, this is just awesome, and then just being able to like crunch that all the way down, like that's just awesome. But I do worry that because this is a rubber crotch piece, that if I were to have the leg kicked up, like that plastic is going to flex. If I had it like this for weeks, days, months, I don't know, I would be scared of this plastic warping and damaging and cracking over time. That's kind of my concern. Again, this is new for Mafex, so we don't really know what to expect with that. We can compare it to other companies who've done it in the past. But again, that is kind of my worry, that this is going to warp and crack over time. So the times that I've had it pose in a while, like I do bring the leg down and it is warped, but then it does kind of just reshape itself, and I'm sure you could put it in hot water and it'll realign itself. But regardless, that is a concern I have. We'll see how it works out in the end and the longevity of this figure. But there is an upper thigh swivel there, double jointed knees, and then nothing at the calf, and then swivel hinge swivel for the ankle, as well as some ankle pivot, and then toe articulation. And starting out these size comparisons, I have the SH Figuarts, Andrew Garfield from No Way Home, and the final swingsuit, both with custom Fall Rule store heads. We'll see what this trio looks like after I get my custom order of the Tobey Maguire head that he made for this Mafex body in particular. But order hasn't shipped out yet. It'll take a couple weeks. But again, this is really cool seeing these three together. And again, I think it's just awesome that we were able to get definitive versions. I say definitive. We were able to get the No Way Home trio in Marvel Legends, Hot Toys, SH Figuarts, and now we're slowly chipping away at the Mafex trio. So I'm really excited to get the Mafex final swingsuit. Really excited to get the Mafex Andrew. Have those both on pre-order. We'll see what those look like in the coming year whenever those figures come out. But for the height right here, for the time being, I think it works out. I think Andrew should be a little taller. Tobey and Tom being the same height in real life makes sense, but Andrew Garfield is a little taller. So I would prefer him to be a little taller, but again, in a pose, you're not necessarily going to tell, but I still think these look good. And speaking of Marvel Legends, here he is with the Marvel Legends Andrew Garfield from the No Way Home 3-pack and the Marvel Legends Deluxe Green Goblin. And it's kind of out of scale with the Goblin, but you know, in your head, like, he's in some armor, he's going to be taller, like, naturally, like Tony Stark and Iron Man. So I think if you pose these two up, it would be really, really cool. And I do think the Mafex Tobey here does scale well with the Marvel Legends Andrew if you wanted that Andrew in your main display. And more No Way Home villains. We have the Marvel Legends Sandman and the Marvel Legends Electro, just came out like a few weeks ago. Just got it. It's a cool figure. Won't review it at all, maybe on TikTok. But I do think the scale like works here too. Again, like Tobey Maguire is a short person. He's like 5'7", 5'8", I think. So I think him scaled with this Sandman, with this Electro. Both actors for Flint and Electro are notably taller. So I think, again, you could definitely fudge this into display if you wanted this Mafex Tobey to be your main Tobey in your display for its Legends or mixed scale, whatever. I think it works out. And for some big black comparisons, here we have him with the Hasbro Raimi Spider-Man 3 Venom and the SH Figuarts Venom from Venom Let There Be Carnage. Again, I think the scale here is fine. Venom's supposed to be big, so if you wanted to fudge these together in a display, it's going to work out for you. And for some blast from the past, here we have him with the Toy Biz Spider-Man. I don't know which version this one is. And then the Green Goblin. And I think the scale between him and Green Goblin is perfect because, again, I think Willem Dafoe is also a short man. So then being closer to height, I think this works out. But it's crazy looking at this figure, the Spider-Man figure on the right, because here is 25, 24, 23 years of like action figure evolution. Granted, this is a domestic company from Hasbro, and we have an import company here with Medicom, but still it's awesome to see how far we've come. But again, on this figure, he's got white eyes. On this one, he's got silver. So I prefer the white eyes over the silver, but regardless, I think these look cool, and it's just another fun comparison to look at. And finally, we now have the comparison with the Medicom Mafex from the Neighborhood Spider-Man in the middle, the Marvel Legends Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man from the 3-pack on the left, and the SH Figuarts Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on the right with a custom Fall Rule head sculpt. The original head sculpt is in a bag, in a tote, under my bed, and I don't want to grab it. So we're all just going to pretend while we compare these, I say compare these, while we talk about these, that the one on the right, the SH Figuarts, has the original head sculpt. Because again, that is the biggest complaint that people have had with these No Way Home figures is the mask. The mask sucks. The mask. Okay, I understand the frustration, but this is not supposed to be a Raimi version of Spider-Man. Like, again, be upset at No Way Home that they changed the mask, but for the figures, that's not Hasbro. That's not the company's fault that they just match the source material. So when I look at this head sculpt in the middle, if I wanted this to be my No Way Home Spider-Man, I'm like, yeah, like that's what it looks like. But again, of course, custom head sculpts out there exist. I did order a custom head sculpt for my Mafex Spider-Man here in the middle, and that'll be here again later on whenever it gets here, and I'm really excited to look at that. But again, we'll come back to that in a minute. Now, for the comparisons here, again, the Marvel Legends on the left is customized. I repainted the webs, repainted the blue. Does not look like this out of packaging at all. For a comparison, okay, yeah, obviously Marvel Legends is not in the competition at all. I don't hate this figure like everybody else, but whatever, like, I'm not going to get into the debate. The real comparison, of course, is with the Mafex and the SHF. Now, which one do I think is better? Man, like, this is what I would say. I think if you only had one option where you had to only pick one Tobey Spider-Man figure to get for your display, I think you have to go with the Mafex. Here's why. I think the quality compared to the SH Figuarts feels really, really good for the Mafex figure. My SH Figuarts has really loose shoulders, really loose hips. Like, it's just gotten loose over time. I don't know if that'll happen with the Mafex figure, but I digress in the part that I think the quality feels really good. The articulation is superior to the SH Figuarts Spider-Man. The accessories, I mean, you get a lot of hands. You get the magnetic stuff. You get the added Sandman cure. You do have the Doctor Strange portal, which, again, not a necessity, but cool that they included. Is this figure going to be a little more pricey than the SH Figuarts? Most likely, but I think it is worth the price. Now, I do also like the shading on the paint with the red and the blue, but the sculpt on the SH Figuarts is still clean as well. When I look at the suit and the body and I pose it around, like, I do like feel like I am holding like a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man from the movies. The SH Figuarts one also has that gloss shimmer to it. I didn't touch on that earlier because I forgot to, but in the promo images, the figure had a matte finish, whereas the final one had a glossy finish. So now I can just get my matte spray and I'll be happy with it, but you shouldn't have to do that if you don't want to. Regardless, that is a thing that stuck out to me in the beginning with the first in-hand images. I didn't like it at all. It's grown on me. I will still probably matte finish it, but regardless, compared to the SHF2, again, this has the really blue elbows right here, not the split, so that's a flaw on here as well. So I think for me, in my head, like, the Mafex Spider-Man is the one to go if you can only pick one. If you were like, you know what, I'm happy with my SH Figuarts one, I'm not going to buy the Mafex, I can totally understand that too. The SH Figuarts is strong in its own regards as well. In my display, in my collection, the right is going to be the No Way Home Spider-Man of Tobey, how he was in No Way Home. In this one, I am going to be working to make my definitive Tobey Maguire Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. Now, what I mean by that is what I've been talking about all video, in that some people have been modding this, where of course they get a custom head sculpt. So yes, I ordered a custom head sculpt. I'm going to do that. But there is this thing where people do, where if I can pop this apart, hopefully I don't break it. I'm not going to pop it apart because it's not coming off easy. So, but essentially this whole upper torso is a soft plastic too as well. And people are doing this crazy thing where they're putting toothpicks in here, and they're essentially extending the traps for this upper torso, which then again gives him kind of a diamond proportioned shape. So that would fix like my gapping issues right here. But my point is, Tobey in the original trilogy was buff. He was a buff and had a really strong physique Spider-Man. And here, yeah, you can adjust the shoulders and kind of get that wide stance too. But the addition I've seen what people do with the customs, with the toothpicks and shit, I'm probably going to do that. And this will be my Raimi trilogy Spider-Man with the custom head sculpt, extended things. I'll probably matte spray it so it's not so shiny and glimmery like it is now. And you don't have to do that. And if you like it, you like it. But regardless, that's what I'm going to do. That is my plan for my display here in the future for my collection. Again, you don't have to. That's what I'm going to do. But again, if I had to pick one, if I had to pick which one was better, like, I think the Mafex is better. I think the Mafex gives you more bang for your buck. Yes, it's a little more pricey than SHF, but that is the one that is the best in my mind. That is the best Tobey. And yeah, that's it. And wrapping things up here, is this figure awesome? Yes. Is this the best Tobey 1/12 scale figure you should get out there that's out right now? In my humble opinion, yes. Now, does that mean I think you should go and replace your SH Figuarts? If you like your SH Figuarts, that's fine. Like, I can understand the pros with that figure. Now, it does have some cons as well with this figure as well too. Like, this figure does have some pros, it does have some cons, and I just think its strengths way better compared to the SH Figuarts. But again, that's my humble opinion. I do plan on customizing it. Got a custom head sculpt one away. Gonna hit it with the matte spray. Gonna try to do that diaphragm extension thing with the malleable plastic. Regardless, even if you buy this figure and you don't do any of that, it's still a great figure nonetheless. The articulation is the best that it can be for this version of Spider-Man. I think the quality feels really, really strong with this one. Again, I don't feel like it's going to break. You should still be cautious because it is an import and is over $100, so you don't want to break your figures. Regardless, I am happy with my purchase, and I'm going to give this guy a really strong grading of a 9 out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10 for me because, again, there's some proportional issues I still think. I'm not a big fan of that glossy finish right there. Then, and again, I think the promo images showed wide eyes when it should be, it showed wide eyes, and I would have preferred it if the eyes on here were white. But again, that is just a personal preference thing. Regardless, it poses really well. It looks really cool. I'm so happy to be finishing my Mafex No Way Home display or collection. Again, Andrew comes out next, and then we have integrated suit and the final swing on the year. Would love to get some villains, but that's probably not going to happen, and the Marvel Legends will just have to do for themselves, or third-party stuff regardless. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. If you like it, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this figure. Are you going to buy this figure? Do you have it? Do you like it? Or do you not have it because you're going to stick with your SH Figuarts one? I'm really excited to know. I'm really eager to know what other people think about this figure. I've watched some reviews, but again, I think this is the definitive Tobey in my eyes. That's out right now. So again, I just want to hear what y'all thought. But if you want to, go ahead and follow me on TikTok at Boondocks01. Instagram's the same at Boondocks01. Or you can follow me on my personal page at Daniel_Boon01 and see kind of just my life. I just post random stuff on there all the time too. But again, thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Again, hit that notification bell so you can get notified when I do post, once every 3 months. Again, hopefully that'll change. I have a lot of figures to review, and there's a lot of stuff coming out this year that I do want to review. But again, I'm boy who cried wolf. I'm just saying that every time now. You're like, oh my god, you're going to post, and then I don't post. But regardless, again, with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I will see y'all on the next review. So thanks. Peace.